Hi and welcome to Python tutorial of a simple MDAS calculator. So I'm going to start by showing you how this works. If you want to select any of the radio button and you enter a value here and click on sum up, that's what you get. If you like, you change it to subtract, addition, division, modulus, exponent, and floor division. Okay, that is how the system works. We can also reset or we can exit. Right, so what I'm going to do now is to take you straight into Python development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's start by clicking on File, New, and right there we're going to enter from TK, import it all. There we go. Now let's set the root to TK there, and I'm going to now define my geometry, root dot geometry, and let's make that 1350, multiply that by 650, and let's say plus 0, which actually means that you start from the upper left here. Right, so the next thing I want to do now, let me give my program a name. So let's say root dot title. So let's just call that simple MDAS calculator. Close that and correct the spelling error. Now the next thing I like to do is, let me define my back color. Back root dot configure the color. Let's say the back color, background color equals, let's go for black, and you can change it to whatever you want. The choice is yours, but I'm just going to settle for black. So if I decide to give this a try, let's see what's going to happen. It's what I've done so far. I can just say root, and that is going to be root main loop. Right, let's say main loop. But before we can run it, let's give it a name. File, save as, let's see, a little bit running slow. Okay, I'll give that a name. I'm just gonna call it Pi underscores simple MDAS. Let's put that on my desktop right there. Save. Okay, let's run it and see what's going to happen. There we go. That is my system defined, and you can see the name right there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is, let's go back into the program, and now we're back into the program. So the next thing we want to do now, let's add some frames. We don't have to divide that. Let's say the frame is going to be as follows. I'll go for top. It'll be a top frame, and that is going to be object frame. So this means I'm going to create an object frame, and that object frame is going to be resident inside root, comma, let's declare the width 1350, comma, then the height, let's make the height that, I'm going to make it approximately 160, comma, and let's just put a border around it. Make that 8, and let's assign the following attribute. Let's say we want to raise it up. Raise. There. That is my first frame created. And for this frame, I would now like to specify where I want it. There's a top dot pack that right at the top. Side equals top. That will be uppercase letter. Alright, that's one. Then let's create another one. If we have one at the top, we need one at the bottom. The bottom one is going to be known as bottom. Okay. Copy that, paste that in here. Right, and I would also like to change this to bottom. Right, what else do we need to do? We need to define the size. The height will be 500 plus that. Okay, now what else do we need? But before I continue, let me just see how it works anyway. This main, this should be right inside main. Let's paste that in there. Save file, save, and let's run it and see. There we go, guys. This is how it looks now. So let's close that. So we have the height and the top frame and the bottom frame. Good. Now both frames, let's add some data. In the first place, the very first data will be LBL top, LBL top. Inside LBL top, okay, let's say LBL title. Okay, LBL title, that is going to be a label, and that very label is going to be resident inside the top frame. And I need to declare my font. The font equals as follows. Let's say we have, and let's say my font is going to be known as Helvetica, and the size of that font, so I'm going to make that 55, and let's make that bold right there. Close that up. Now the next thing I would like to do for this is let's assign the data that will be inside this label. So it's going to be simple MDAS Calculator, comma, and let's come back in here. Let's just press enter, and right underneath there I'm going to say border equals 4. Close that dot grid and specify a row for it. It's going to be, the row is going to be 0 and the column is going to be 0 as well. Equals 0. There. So if we want, we can just try this out now. Let me first of all come up here and just meant to save it. Save, and let's see what's going to happen. There we go. Look at that, guys. Alright, so that is in place. So the next thing I would like to do now, let's go for, we need some other, let's say we create, okay, right inside this bottom frame I'm going to create another frame here. I'm going to call it in bottom frame 1 that is there, and I'm going to create another one that is going to be in bottom frame 2. Let's say 2 in bottom 2 there. Okay, let's create one more frame that will be inside this very one. So inside this second frame I want some buttons, radio buttons in there. Okay, the other frame, let me just paste that right here, and I will just change the name. I will change the name of that around, paste it underneath here. So let's call it maybe I should just give it just a simple name. I can just call it LF1, LF2, LF1, because LF is fine then. And this one, this should be maybe 400. Okay, now the width remains the same for the LF, and this, let's make that 800 right inside there. And I want you to be positioned at left and left, right. Okay, that is done. So the next thing I like to do is let's create another one where we will have the buttons. We want the buttons to be resident in there, so I need another frame. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to change that to buttons. So let me call that buttons with an S, and this one will be known as buttons as well. And right inside the buttons, I want the button to be right at the bottom. The width remains the same, and this, let's make it about 300, and we want to raise it as well. Okay, and packed to be right underneath at the bottom. Now the other one is I want another one for the answer button. Call that answer button as well. Let's move this up so that you guys can see it. Right, so for all these frames that I've developed so far, let's run it and we see how. No, let's undo that. That should be there, and let's just see how it's going to look like when I run it. Compile and run first. But before running it, let's do one thing for these buttons. Okay, let's run it first. Save and run. Okay, we have an error. Let's see. Okay, it's not defined. Let's see what the error is. Oh, look at this very one. It's case sensitive. Alright, let's come in here and run it again. There we go. But you can't see it, so let's add some borders to it so that you guys can see it. So here I'm going to say BD. Let's come in BD, make that maybe 4, and copy this as well. Paste it here, another one, that's 4. And for the left one, let's say we leave that as 4 for now. I can always reduce. What about the inner one? That is 4 as well, and this is 4 as well. Okay, let's come in here, save and run. There we go. Something is beginning to happen. Okay, let me close that now, and we now need to add some object into all of these frames that I've laid out. So have a good look at the lines of code for now. Okay, and bring it down so that you see the rest of the codes. Okay, the next thing I like to do is to define, even before defining my calculation and so on, let me add some data into let's say we add some buttons and so on. Yeah, okay. Right here, first thing first, declare some variable. Vi equals int vi is nothing. Then let's say first number equals int vi as well, and we're gonna need second number as well. Let's come up. Then we need the second one as well. Second number. Right. Then the other one is, let's declare one for my total. Total equals, that's total. Right. Okay, the next thing I like to do is all of these variables that are declared right now, they are empty. There's nothing happening, so I'm just going to copy all of this, paste them right here, and this will become dot set equals that equals nothing. There's nothing happening there so far. Copy this and use that to replace this. Right, all set now. Okay, I like that. That's fine. So have a good look at it. Take it up. So those are just the variables I've declared for my system. Those are the frames and variables declared. Now the first thing we want to do is, let's come down here. I'm going to name this addition. That's my very first radio button. So for this radio button, the name is addition. Radio button. This radio button is going to be resident inside LF, the frame right here. And right there, the text that I want on it, let's say text equals addition, of course. And let's enter some tab. Maybe that will be enough, I don't know. Alright, close that, comma, variable equals vi, comma, and the value for this very first radio button I declare, I'm going to make that 1. Okay, what about the font? Let's come down here. Font, let's use the same type of font. This very one here. Yeah. Copy that and just bring it down. That's my font there. Helvetical. So equals helvetical. Right, and the size, make that 15. Do I want it bold? For now, let's leave it as bold. If I don't like it, I can always change it. And let's close that dot grid. And we want that in row 0 and what column? Okay, we want it strictly, let's say strictly west. Right, that is the very first one taken care of. Okay, let's speed this up. So I'm just going to copy and speed that up. There we go. So those are all of the components that will be on the left frame there. And here I'm going to change its name. I'm going to change that to 2. Yeah, because it's for button and it's going to be inside the button, this one. Okay, that's fine. Right, so the next thing I like to do now is let's scroll down now that I have all my buttons in place. No, these are for the radio buttons. Yeah, that's correct. So the next thing is, let's create a label and a text. So I'm going to call that LBL. Let's go for first equals label, and right inside this label I want it to be inside answer but 2, comma, the font, I want the font to be exactly the same thing with this very one, so I'm gonna copy that, and yeah, up to here, copy, and just a font equals this, there, and it's bold. What about the text content on it? The text content on it, I would like it to be equals enter first number, close that. Now let's see, want it, the font, I want it to be black. Right, what else do I want? Let's put a border around the BG equals 4, and the braille will be dot. So I'll just copy this now so that I can speed it up, because I need 2 more, 1 and another one that's going to be for the answer there. So let's speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay guys, this is how it looks for now. If I run it now, this is what you guys will see. You might not see all of the components. Alright, but I need to move this down so that you can see it all. Okay, let's close that. Close this as well. Okay, now let me create the buttons. So the very first button I'm going to call that sum up. Sum up is going to be right inside the frame I call button. So that'll be buttons, that's the frame called buttons. Inside the frame called buttons, let's go for padding equals 8. Let's add a border to it. Let's make that maybe 4. We can always reduce that or increase it, and the font color is going to be black. And the font itself, this is going to be the font. Let's copy all of this, paste that there. Alright, get rid of that. And the width we made at 12, or maybe 13. 13 we do. Alright, so I will say comma and there. So that's the very first one. Maybe let's increase this a little bit, 26, and maybe change this to 5. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to use that for my reset. Paste, that will be for reset, and change the name of this to reset. Right, button reset, and that is going to be 0, and the column will be 1 as well, and the text content on it will be reset. Then we also need one more, that is going to be for the exit. Change the text content of this to exit, and object name will be known as exit, and the column will be 2, column number 2. Right. Alright, so let's, oh, there's an error here. Let's change that. That's supposed to be 1. Okay, that's fine. Go to file, save, and let's see what's going to happen when we run it. Okay, there we go. You see, it's looking good now, but there's nothing happening. You see that, guys? There's nothing happening so far. So all I then need to do is to create my functions for the buttons. So okay, the first function I would like to create, let me create right up here. See where I declare the variables. See all of the frames, and right underneath all of the frames right now have the variables. So between the frames and the variable, my first function is going to be for exit. So that's the name of my function. You can call it just whatever you like. I'm going to call it QExit. Quit exit equals message box and dot ask yes or no. So let's say, and the name is going to be simple MDAS Calculator. MDAS Calculator. So the text content on it is going to be confirm if you want to exit, confirm if you want to exit. That's it, and close that. If QExit less than 0, then system root dot destroy, and this will have to be called from within one of the button, and let's say return, and that's it. That's the function exit taken care of. So let's try out this function exit using the exit button that we have here already. So let's come down here, exit button right here. Let me just enter command exit. That's attaching the function to that very button, exit. So that's one command taken care of, or one function taken care of. Let's run it and see what's going to happen with the command exit. There we go. It's not working. Let's see why is it not working. We have errors. So let me run it just once so that I can pinpoint the error. There. And what is the error? Message box. I think it's case sensitive because of this capital B. Let's go back and change this B to lowercase. Right. It's strange. Save that and let's try it one more time. There we go. You want to exit? No. Do you want to exit? Yes. You see that? Just because this is in uppercase. So it's case sensitive, guys. Alright, let's take care of the other one, reset. I'm going to come right underneath here and let's declare another function, and this function is going to be reset. And what do you want it to reset? I want it to clear all of these. Copy them and paste them right there. Okay, get it. Let's get it indented. That's it. All of them is ready now. So for the reset to work, I need to be able to call this function. So it's going to be command reset. Let's come right down here. You see the button reset? So right here I'm going to put command reset. Let's copy this. Command equals reset. Copy. Paste. Command equals reset. There. Okay, let's run it now and see what's going to happen. So let's enter some value in here. I cannot enter anything here because this is a label. Reset, you see that? So that is fine. Alright, and the last function for calculate. So I'm going to call that sum up. So I might as well just copy and paste this one in here because I'm there anyway. So let's say sum, not sum up, sum. So that is going to be known as sum. So come right up here, let's go up, right above here, let's say dim sum. There, the first sum is going to be, let's say if value dot get equals 1, then let's say quantity 1 equals, that's a local variable though, quantity 1 equals floating number first number dot get. There, that's for the first number. So the same thing is going to be repeated for the second number before we carry out the calculation. Second number, quantity 2, and here that's going to be second number. Remember those variables that were declared, there they are. Now I'm now making use of them. Now we now need to sum them all up. So let's say sum up, okay, equals first number. Well, that's the wrong place. Let's cut that off. Where's it? Right here. That's silly. Sum up, just paste that in there. It was let's say sum up equals quantity 1 plus quantity 2 and total dot set to sum up. What's that uppercase here? There. So that's the first if statement taken care of. So all I just need to do now is I'm going to copy, and the rest is going to be else if. There might be an error here because it's not indented, so let's select it and just come in, I think here, right, format indent, yeah, that's fine. Copy that now. Let's come right here. The next one is going to be else if, yeah, else if it's 2, and this will become subtract. Remember, they all have a value. The value is known as value 1, 2, and 3. There they are. Okay, so this is value 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, up to 6, 7 actually. So that is 2. Copy this, copy, paste, and that is for value number 3. In the case of value number 3, that is multiply. We multiply that. So I believe you guys get the whole idea, so I'm going to speed that up and get back to you shortly. Okay, that is it guys, all done now. So let me show you guys the function sum. Okay, take it up. There we go. If you remember the button name, the button is called sum up, and here that's where I could call the function. Okay, let's take it right up. That's the beginning of the program where I declare the name, the dimension, and the heading for the form itself, the back color, the various frames declared up to here, and here the functions. there are seven arithmetic operator functions in there. There we go. Okay, now come right down. Let's exit, and here we have reset. Variables declared, and here assigning, clearing the variables, various components, and these components are radio buttons. And finally here I have labels and text box. Labels, text box, and right underneath we have the buttons, and that's it. So let's run it and you're going to see how it works. There we go. We enter, select any of those, enter whatever you want to add up right there. There we go. Supposing you want to subtract, you want to multiply, division, modulus, exponential, and floor division there. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.